Oh, hello, Ben.
Hello. And there's Chad. Well, good to talk to you, and thank you so much for supporting the Kickstarter, for helping us, get back to where we we want to be with Death Battle and Independent to boot. We really appreciate we couldn't be doing this at this point without you for sure. So really appreciate it, and we are very excited to hear about your matchup idea. The general idea for this call. The floor is yours. There's no pressure or expectation, however you want to go about it. We're just excited to hear about why you're excited for your matchup idea. And
Yeah.
also here.
Oh, yeah. Hello, Chad.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah. So hopefully this goes well because my laptop actually crashed twice when trying to set this up, but I feel like
Okay.
hopefully it goes good. So I'll get right into this.
Well, if
Fingers
it does
crossed.
crash and like we aren't able to get through the call, we could totally like reschedule and figure something out. So
I
no
appreciate it, but I feel like we're good. We're in the
All
same
right.
boat.
All
Okay.
right.
So
Let's do it.
getting into a familiar matchup to you guys that you guys have actually done on Death Battle Cast is my and I'm also sorry, I should also say I'm also recording this, just so
Okay.
you know.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thanks
that.
for the heads up.
Yeah, my apologies for not saying that up front, but
All good.
so yeah, my matchup is Tifa Lockhart versus Makoto Niijima. The Pride of Seventh Heaven versus the Queen of the Phantom Thieves. And you may be asking why pitch a matchup that's been already on Death Battle Cast? Well, that was before Rebirth came out, so Tifa got a shit ton of buffs to kind of like narrow the gap between like the power, scaling, and also just to generally inform you two about Makoto Niijima as a character, since well, of course I love the cast. That was kind of like that old style where it was more just trying to throw feats at each other, trying to like one up each other, like compared to now, and just in general, just to hype this up and hopefully be the sealing deal for this. So, just why should Tifa come back? It's been 9 years. There's an entire remake trilogy. Oh, because that's also another problem where some of my GIFs and images won't load.
Wow, that's all right.
Yeah.
I will say, not to interrupt or anything, but if
Yep.
there's anything in the presentation that doesn't quite work, an email will pop up in the Google chat in just a minute. You can after this call, you can send this presentation to us through that email, so we can like reference it later if you want. But that way, hopefully, everything would work.
Yeah, I will definitely do that because it'll probably work for you guys. But yeah,
Awesome.
just the remake trilogy coming out, and that I see that the team has interest in bringing her back since she was an option for the rematches or rematch poll. And for why Makoto should come to Death Battle is that just off of her persona alone, I feel like justifies why she would be a cool character to have on Death Battle. Where you already know about the motorcycle. Her second evolution is a transformer, and then the third evolution is just a bigger fucking motorcycle.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And just in general, just flex this. She is second most popular Persona 5 character. But,
Okay.
I know popularity ain't everything, but just want to let that out
Oh,
there.
for sure.
Yeah. Going on to just the quick refresher that, of course, you know much about Tifa. Seventh Heaven's bartender, survivor of Sephiroth's murderous rampage that end up killing her father, which all together results in joining Avalanche, reuniting with Cloud to be his like emotional anchor throughout the entire journey to take down Shinra and Sephiroth, and then during Advent Children, adopt Maylene and or Marlene and Denzel to then move forward their lives. And as for Makoto, student council president of the fucked up high school known as Shujin Academy. Father was assassinated because her father was a police commissioner that was getting too deep into a case, and was asked to after the Phantom Thief's first job, was asked to deal with the Phantom Thieves, but not just that, to also deal with the fucking Mafia by herself, by the principal.
Crazy.
But joining the Phantom Thieves, close relationship with Joker, helped take the corruption that was going on and Yaldabaoth. And with Ren's support, she will follow in her steps, following her father's steps to become police commissioner. And now, this is not. We'll skip past this, but this is just how I would love to see the analysis for both sides being like more story focused with, the feats and powers. Of course, the power sets like, Strickland, but I just feel like their stories will be awesome to see covered in full.
Mm-hmm.
But now going to the three big aspects of this fight: the martial arts, the hand-to-hand, the fisticuffs, the materia versus persona skills, which is the most fascinating, and what would bring something new to the table is summon versus persona, which hasn't been done on Death Battle.
Right.
And just to go into ignore Aerith, that there was a gif of Makoto using a chair, and that was gonna be a bit, but
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, they do indeed punch good, but there's more to the mechanics in their games. Strikers definitely helped out Makoto, that we can actually like see her fighting style in action. And yeah, there's a lot. It's not gonna be like a slugfest. It's gonna be actually using martial arts. As we'll see later, I kind of compare it to like All Might versus Might Guy, and it's just fluid movement and hand-to-hand combat. And now going into the fun opportunities with using material skills, or material versus persona skills, is that leaves a bunch of opportunities that hasn't been covered even in Link vs. Cloud, because unlike Link, who can counter most of the effects of the materia, like stop and transmutation, Makoto doesn't have those specific counters, so it leads to new opportunities where, for example, Tifa could possibly turn Makoto into a frog, and similar to a status effect in the game where you can get turned into a rat, it'll be funny to see the mask on a toad, and that's
I love it.
That's so funny. Oh, yeah.
And along with like all their utility, Makoto has a lot. Like, she is known for being having a very diverse arsenal for not the pro tag that's not named Agus.
Yeah.
Okay, and just to shortly go over this, summons versus a bike. It would just be very goofy, but very fucking cool at the same time.
Yeah.
Especially like depending if it's like, oh, is it during the middle of the fight? Is it during the end of the fight? I kind of have it like be like the final clash where, as we'll see later, I kind of have Makoto awakening to her third stage, Agnes, and then she can take on whatever you guys choose, Tifa the summon, which for this scenario, I'm going with the Knights of the Round.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if there was a specific summon you think would be like important to include.
The reason why I feel like to get this out of the way for the Knights of the Round is that with Agnes, the ultimate like skill that you can use is called Checkmate, which is just a wide debuff to all enemies, and so it will be, and it's also 70 SP, so it'd be kind of fucking overkill to use it on one person.
Mm-hmm.
Or so like with the
group, with the group,
Got it.
And she just starts taking out all the.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
Like the
amazing.
summon starts and you're expecting it. Isn't Knights of the Round one of the ones that lasts for like a full minute or whatever? Like it starts and she's like, "No, I'm gonna take him out."
That's fun. But yeah, now here's a track art that I made, a family track art.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I love that.
You can take a lot of inspiration from like these two juggernauts of soundtracks to make a really awesome song. I love Requiem for a Thief. It'll be awesome to see O4's Child back to seeing if that is a possibility. I kind of feel like this would be pretty bossy music, so I'm always gonna advocate Rivers in the Desert. But for the animation,
with Persona, like,
oh
man, that would be pretty hype sounding. Yeah,
dude, that's like one of the big factors, like why I feel like this should happen.
just the music. Yeah, I think it would be awesome.
But yeah, the animation is even though I was blown away with Joker versus Giorno, so I would have confidence in the sprite team if that's the way. But I just feel like with all the craziness and the models, I feel like it should be 3D and
3D. Okay.
Yeah. And like the only worrying is that like models may clash, but then in the corner we have Guts versus Dimitri, but where like kind of a realistic versus kind of an anime style.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
the secret to making models kind of like look okay next to each other or look like they kind of mix is not the models themselves. Actually, it's the lighting.
Okay, yeah,
kind of light
in
the same way they're lit in Persona, and I think it would actually look pretty good.
Oh yeah, I would definitely be hyped for that. Well, I did create a kind of a because the toughest part for me when coming up with this matchup is the setup, because I want them to be in character, and it was just very hard because sorry, but the idea behind it is that basically Tifa finds finds calling cards littered across Final Fantasy locale. She discovers Makoto in an alleyway, and right when Makoto goes into the metaverse, because you need the metaverse for Persona 5 stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She accidentally drags Tifa with her, and this is where they have the main confrontation that the calling card that she found is addressed to Cloud. So basically, the fight is that Tifa's fighting to protect Cloud because don't know what the Phantom Thieves are, and basically Makoto's fighting in self-defense.
Okay, got it.
And as soon as you're talking about like setting up the analysis to talk about her relationship with Cloud, that's immediately what was coming to my head. It's like that the Phantom Thieves are coming after Cloud, not her, and I like how different that is from Joker Giorno as well. That's a great idea.
Yeah, I appreciate it. But yeah, I kind of have like three just to shortly go by since we're running out of time. It starts in the train station of inside Mementos, and the middle act is them having a subway train battle. Gotta love those. As they go deeper into Mementos, where they end off in the depths, and which this is a huge area and lots of room for a Persona versus the Red Knights of the Round.
Yeah.
Something. And just to quickly speedrun this is, I love how you guys do the UIs, integrate the UIs for especially with Joker Giorno and Cloud Link. But yeah, just keep doing that. That's just fun.
Great.
And I guess my most wanted scene is the one on the left, where it's the Advent Children, throwing Tifa into the wall, but just trade places, like Kratos Asura trades places where it's Tifa throwing Makoto in at a parked subway train, and like the glass shatters forward, and then they re-engage the fight.
Okay, cool.
And now I'm not a versus debater, but I feel like this is what makes this much closer than what meets the eye. It's like, well, yes, Makoto may have the power and speed advantage from just in general, like from what I know, I feel like Tifa has the skill and versatility, so it almost can she out-hacks Makoto's overwhelming power and speed, and it just takes, and we don't know what's going to happen during the third remake, or the final part of the trilogy. So it could easily go something could happen with research, and this could be Tifa's match to win, which would be probably a surprise to many people, because mostly people just say Makoto just stomps, but yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, basically this is just popularity. These series are popular. Persona 4 last week got basically data mined that Persona 4 remakes are coming soon.
Okay.
And yeah, and bunch of thumbnails. Actually no, this is actually another big point, is that this matchup doesn't have to come immediately. it can, where I agree with during the battle banter, where this can wait until after the final part of the trilogy comes out, where we have Tifa at her best, where all the research can be done, versus Makoto. And these are just all the Final Fantasy matchups, non-Persona, like Atlas matchups, like, Metaphor, Soul Hacker, SMMT, SMMT, and just, the trilogy of Persona matchups, like 3, 4, and 5. And I just have this quick joke for the analysis of Makoto's analysis, where Wiz, introduces Makoto's persona, Johanna, and just Boomstick goes, "Nah, Wiz, that's a bike."
No, dude, that's a bike. Yeah.
Love it.
And yeah, and in the middle, this was a thumbnail that I tried to draw, but I accidentally messed up and sadly could not complete it. But it's still there because I did want to at least show that hard work.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. I see what you're going for. Yeah.
And the very last thing is this hype trailer. Just ignore the guy on the right, because hopefully they see me here. And yeah,
That was awesome.
Yeah, I'm sorry that it felt like I was just yapping, but
No, that's
No,
what we're
okay.
here. We're here to hear
Time,
you.
man. However you want to do it. Yeah. So, great presentation.
Fantastic presentation.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, these slides were like they were like slightly animated, with like some coming in and out of the screen, so it's a shame that couldn't be seen, but I'm glad that I could get this to work without my laptop crashing.
Yeah, you made it work. I think you did a great job. Again, if you want to send it to that email, then we can review it and see all the animations. Hopefully it works that way. Regardless, I think you did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And you clearly put a lot of work into this too. And it makes a lot of sense. I'm curious, because I'm not as familiar with Makoto in Strikers. Tifa's fighting style, has kind of that boxing stance. Does Makoto have kind of a similar fighting style, or is she different in how she approaches a fight?
There's actually in one of the during the the fist, the hand focus in the corner, there's a kind of a showcase of Makoto's fighting style, with the combos that you can do. Oh, and that's the thing I forgot to mention. Some of her combos involve her using the motorcycle in her combos.
Oh yeah, a Boomstick would love Makoto.
Yeah. Bringing the motorcycle fight from Advent Children, but it's these two.
But yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, and that's also another thing is that with and that's what I forgot to mention is for Anat, the second evolution, since it can transform into both the form of Johanna, you can just have Anat, and you can transform and still has that look, and then during the final clash, she strengthens her resolve and awakens to Agnes to basically have all three of her personas in a death battle.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Cool.
Hell yeah. I think this is a cool one.
For sure.
Yeah. I did, when you started mentioning part 3, I did look it up. It looks like it's expected in 2027 or 2028, which means if we were to wait, this would be a ways out.
Oh yeah,
but it's confirmed. No, I'm just kidding.
Don't get my hopes on that.
Yeah, no.
But I do want, once the final part comes out, I do think it'd be interesting to explore a Final Fantasy VII character in Death Battle and talk about the differences and stuff, right, between the two different versions, or main versions, I guess. Maybe Tifa's the one to do it with, because like you said, we've talked about bringing Tifa back. I would love to do a Tifa matchup that isn't just Yang again. For the longest time, Chun-Li was the biggest request, but I would love to do something a little different from that.
That was the DBX.
Yeah.
But Makoto makes a lot of sense for sure. This probably would be the matchup we would do if we brought Tifa back. It's my gut.
Confirmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can imagine my just overall joy when you guys announced this. Literally last year and a month ago for Death Outcast, I was like over the moon. Shit. But yeah.
Well, we're glad. Yeah. So okay, cool. Well, thank you so much again for supporting the Kickstarter, for supporting the show, and for putting together this awesome presentation. I can tell you put a lot of work and time into it. So thank you for sharing your idea with us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing idea, amazing presentation. Really good stuff.
But
Yep.
yeah, I forgot to answer your question, Ben, about earlier. Yeah, kind of Makoto does have that, like, even though she's trained in Aikido, she never fucking uses it during the game. But so basically, she just using the metaverse powers to just beat the shit out of everyone.
Okay, so like a
Just
brawler.
yeah,
Yeah,
more of a brawler, but still you can have that like martial arts aspect to it.
Yeah,
The fight.
that's kind of similar to Tifa. At the end of the day, she's just there to beat the shit out of everybody.
Yep.
I love it. Well, great presentation, great talking to you, and again, thank you so much for the support for the Kickstarter and the show and helping us get back to where we're at.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
No problem. It was worth every penny.
Great. Well, have a great rest of your day. Thanks again.
Yep. Take care.
All right. Bye.
Later. Whew. Well, that was something. Oh, God. Well, hope you enjoyed.